third Monday of Advent. We're getting closer to Christmas, and in this daily message, I would like to focus on the theme of the star in our lives that guides us to salvation, that guides us to the child, that guides us to our meaning in life, that guides us to our vocations. We need these stars in our lives to help us along the journey. Otherwise, we fumble in the dark. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience of walking in utter darkness, how the fear of tripping over and stumbling, all those sort of demons of our own hearts, the fears that could come out of the darkness, is something that is not pleasurable at all. And so God gives us in our lives stars through the night to help us orientate ourselves. For anyone who fished in the old days without the new technologies that are available, would have used the stars to orientate themselves. And so we read in our first reading this indication, a prophecy of Christ to be born, to be indicated through a star. And so we always, when talking about the star, the guiding light, in Christmas Advent period, we always like to make reference to the prophet of Daniel, who in chapter 12, verse 3, says more or less that the wise, say this very clearly, the wise will shine like stars in the sky, those whom have led many souls to uprightness. And so when we look at these stars, scripturally speaking, we can also take a spiritual meaning that there are people who shine like stars in our lives. People, we all have them, God willing we have them, at least mentors, people who can help indicate the right path to us in the darkness of this world. Now obviously our first reference other than Christ, who is the sun, the greatest star of all, is, at least in our experience, in the universe experience, of course, Christ is that sun. But we also can make reference to the lives of saints. So the importance of reading, learning the example of these people who followed Christ. So if we are parents, also reading the story of saints to our children. I mean, you don't have to be a child to take an interest in reading the biographies or the meditations of saints. Now, breaking it down into a more local level, like in our own lives, we all need people who have some kind of moral fortitude or grace or virtue that we can refer to get spiritual advice. I'm going to talk about something because our gospel reading is how Jesus makes reference to John and says, I'll answer you if you answer me my question. Whose authority did John come from heaven or from man? Now, I'm not going to go into the detail of the scripture there, but I want to say how important it is that we have people, friends, mentors, leaders, in whom we can make reference to. Accountability. Now, this might sound a little bit off the theme here, but I really feel it's important that I speak about this as a pastor, a shepherd to you all, especially you who have children. And I've made mention of this in my homilies, but about the darkness that's out there on the internet. If you might be very well aware of the horrible things that can be found out there, and including pornography. Many of us don't like to talk about this. It's a very awkward discussion. But I hope that through this very private way of speaking to you on the internet, where you can view this in your own time, you might be able to find some guidance and maybe make some decisions for yourself, because you might even struggle from pornography addiction. Now, your children, you might not even know it, might actually struggle from this, because when you give a child a phone, they are exposed to some great evils. I will put in a link below here, some links to videos which are very interesting and eye-opening about the myths about porn. But in particular, I want to encourage a certain accountability program called Covenant Eyes. I had wanted to do a video on this before, and I think this is the most appropriate situation here. And a Covenant Eyes is a program that is downloaded onto every device in your household. You can have it for your family. So you can have accountability between your husband and your wife, your children, and everyone. And so what happens is this program within the computer takes sort of little snapshots, blurred snapshots of what's being viewed, and with artificial intelligence recognizes when there's something a little bit unsavory, you could say, and it sends a weekly report to an accountability partner. Now, your children might have you as an accountability partner. So you can have this as a family and use it, and it will show what's popping up. And with love and respect and even mercy, you say, hey, what's going on? You know, what you were looking at, you know that this is a distraction and it'll lead you astray, etc. But even for those who might be watching who might suffer from pornography addiction, you can choose your own accountability partners. It takes humility to admit that you've got a problem, and it takes humility to ask a friend to say, can you help me? If you do suffer from this, please be comfortable with approaching me about this in a confessional, writing me an email. I'm very happy to help you. I know that we have nuns here that are available to help any women out there as well, because this isn't a problem that just affects young men, it's women as well, and young girls as well, young boys as well. Please, as a parent, I encourage you to show your responsibility towards them, because not only can they be affected by what they're seeing, but also influenced by what other people want to see from them. And so the internet is a very dangerous place unless it is guarded and protected by you, who have to be a star. We have to be lights to others, regardless of our own brokenness. We need to help guide people to Christ, to salvation. So again, if you'd like more information about that, look below. There'll be in the links below. I'm going to put some links there that will, God willing, help you. And also, I would love if you could subscribe to this video channel, because we want to do some more videos in the future and to upload them in this way. You'll receive them when they happen. So God bless you and have a wonderful Advent/Christmas.